I'm F25 pregnant, but he is M31 really happy with someone else.
We were together for 3 years and broke up 3 years ago. It was a really good relationship and I was very happy with him throughout the whole thing, but we wanted two completely different things. He wanted things that people his age group wanted, and I wanted things that people my age group wanted. It was sad, but we had to break up. He moved on and started dating his no fiancé. We see each other once in a while because of our friends, but don't really make conversation. Around 3 months ago a mutual friend had a party and he was there without her and I decided to talk to him because he seemed down. He explained that him and his girlfriend, they were just dating at this time, had problems about cheating and had broken up. After our friend's party, we were still talking when we went back to my place.
I didn't see it leading to sex, but it did. We had sex a total of 4 times. We were plastered the first time, sober the other times. It was in a span of a week. We didn't continue anything because the same reason still stood. He wanted that white picket fence life and I didn't, so we stopped before anything got serious. I was 10 weeks when I found out. I didn't immediately know what I was going to do, so I didn't tell anyone, but after thinking about it, I've decided to keep the baby. I know, I spent years saying this isn't what I wanted, but actually being placed in this position changed things. Only 2 other PPL know. I'm currently 13 weeks. I'm not sure when they got back together, but she posted that they got engaged a few days ago. This just makes me feel 110% worse. I know I need to tell him, but I feel bad telling him. How do I? You need to tell him now. Him and his fiancée need to be aware of the whole picture before they commit to a lifetime together. Are you hoping he is an active parent, or do you want monetary support?
Friend/ex, I got pregnant during our little week of fun. I've decided to keep the pregnancy. I know this is shocking news, so I don't expect you to make any decisions right this minute, but when you're ready, I'd like to talk to you about how involved, or not, you wish to be so we can make a plan. Just send the text. ETA, I wouldn't call him because if he's with his fiancée, he's not going to be able to take your call or speak freely. Tell him, if you plan on keeping the child, he deserves to know. He shouldn't marry his fiancée without telling her he has a child. It would be cruel to keep it from him when you know that he has made it known to you that he wanted a child. Please tell him ASAP.
If he won't answer the phone, send him a text. It's not a great way to tell him, but it does the job. I bet he calls you then. You will also have proof you told him.
I see you've already started contacting him. I hope things work out for you. Good luck, Op. And I hope we all get an update on the future.
Be prepared for him to block you. He may freak out that you're calling him now because this is probably his worst case scenario now. That he's engaged. Either way, he needs to know and take responsibility. Update me. You need to tell him. When the baby is born, you need to file child support and the courts will get a DNA test for him. But you need to tell him. If he wants the white picket fence life, I'd hope he'll be there for his child. But if they had split 'cause of cheating, then he wasn't with her when y'all were together, and that isn't something she can fault him for unless she doesn't want to be with him or doesn't wanna support him and his kid. That isn't on you though. The only thing on you is telling him and providing for your child. Period. He didn't answer the call. So text him. I likely wouldn't answer a call from an ex either. Especially if I'd just gotten engaged. He definitely needs to know ASAP. And he needs to tell his fiancée in case it's a deal breaker and they need to call the wedding off before too much money is spent planning it. You can still co-parent very happily together while he is married. You and the fiancé should also attempt to have a good co-parenting relationship for the sake of the child. You need to text him and tell him. I doubt very much he'll answer a phone call. Just send a text. Explain what you plan to do and then ask him to meet to talk things over when it's convenient. He may not wish to play an active role in the child's life, but he absolutely should be contributing financially. If he doesn't answer your calls, send him a text. Just something like, "Hey, can you call me back? There's something you should know and I think we should talk." I know a text like that can be anxiety-inducing, but he does need to know, and I think you're right, it would be better to break the news on a call than over text.
Info: did he go back to the girl that cheated on him?
Well, that worked out, didn't it? Question mark. Call him. And once you hear his voice, you'll be able to decide if you should talk face to face or just over the phone. Good luck. Make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. He may not want to get back together or be involved. So if you're keeping the baby, you also need to be prepared to do it alone. Alternatively, he may want to play an active part. So you need to be ready for his fiancée to play stepmom. From your responses, it seems that you're still unsure or maybe just too nervous. But you need to rip that band-aid off and let him know. This is life-altering for the both of you, and beating around the bush won't make the problem magically disappear or less stressful. Call him back or leave dozens of messages if you have to, but he needs to know. Like yesterday, it's not fair to him to leave him in the dark. If he's the good guy that you say he is, pull in your big girl pants and tell him. Then leave it to him to figure out how to tell his girlfriend. If he stalls, to then be prepared to insist on DNA test to prove paternity. So you were 19. He was 26 and he was ready for a family and you weren't. Flash forward to now and you don't start the relationship again cause you still both want different things in life but weren't on birth control. Neither of you suggested plan B. And you didn't think to take a pregnancy test anytime sooner knowing the condom broke? I mean, come on. Obviously you need to get in touch with him ASAP so both him and his fiancée can decide if they want to continue with their engagement or break it off. Be a bit careful with how you tell him and be cautious when he reacts. Worst case scenario, he tries to file for full custody, assuming he has a good lawyer. Semi-bad case scenario, he tries to coerce you to give up your baby for adoption to him and his fiancée. You mentioned he wants white picket fence, which may mean he wants a nuclear-type family too. Best case scenario, he accepts your choice and you both co-parent peacefully. If he doesn't want to be in the picture, you can consider leaving his name off the birth certificate. I've heard of women doing this if they don't want to split custody of their child with an absentee father. How soon can you get a lawyer? It's good to have one and be protected sooner rather than later. If you have his address, sending a written letter is a great idea. I called, texted, and as a last resort sent a letter to my ex informing him I had given birth. Keep your chin up. He is an adult that chose to have sex. If his life gets derailed and his happy relationship ends, that's not your fault. You didn't choose to get pregnant that night. It just happened. My ex was in a relationship when I informed him and it did end, but that's between them and I don't feel bad. My only goal was to let him know and to hopefully have him be a part of his son's life. When you tell him, make it clear you don't want a relationship and you're only looking for him to be an active father. Or to at least provide some sort of child support. Whatever decision he makes you will respect. It's time to let all the personal feelings go and just keep this very strict and to the point. Whatever happens, I wish you and your little one all the best. If you want to speak, drop me a message or something. You should have told him after you decided to keep it. Now that you know he is engaged to the girl he was broken up with, you should tell her what you said here. Your ex said he was single. You guys had sex 4 times over a week. And now you're pregnant with his kid and intend to keep it. He said their breakup was over cheating but weren't clear about the details. She deserves to know before the wedding planning moves forward.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.